Hey guys, and welcome to Project Premium Harvest. My name is Matt. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how return on capital works with regards to how much taxes you're going to have to pay when it comes to the end of the year. So I'm going to show you where to find the information, how to analyze the information, and then to calculate what your taxable premium is going to look like. All right, so let's get started. So as you can see on my screen here, I am on the yieldmax page. So I chose nvdy because I'm heavily invested in nvdy. So I'm going to give you a stock that I'm familiar with and that you guys have seen on my channel to kind of give you an idea of how to look for this information, right? Whatever information they give on here, I really don't care. It's always wrong anyways. But to find the right documentation for return on capital, we have to scroll all the way down to the fund where they look at some of the literature, right? See literature here. And we're looking for supplemental tax information, right? So we click here. And then once we clicked on that specific supplemental tax link, it takes us to this beautiful site where it has a bunch of different tax documentation. Just a quick shout out that the first form you click on is not the fund you're looking for. They have it broken down by each individual fund. So right now they have tsly, they have ROC, plty, amzy, and so forth. So we're going to go all the way down to nvdy. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better, right? So you can click on this 8937, but this is just kind of show you kind of how much distribution is paid out. So it's not really what we're looking for. What we're trying to look for is this 19A1 notice payable date, which is the distribution date. So we're going to click on this link, and it's going to take us to the next page, right? So you really don't need to read much of this stuff. If you're interested and are kind of bored, highly recommend go for it. But we're just kind of digging the numbers here, right? So in the month of September, right? So for this site's kind of weird, so I can't really like highlight. But so for the month of September, the distribution was $1.35. And so that number is on this left-hand section here, right? Or down here. So the way they have this broken down is you have your net investment income, and then you have your estimated return of capital, right? So this net investment income is how much income you're actually payable and are going to be taxed on. And then this estimated return on capital is what is tax exempt because it's just your money. Yieldmax, you gave Yieldmax your money and then they gave you back your money. So that's kind of how it works. They gave you back your own money. Long story short, right? But if you look at this right-hand column, it tells you the specific percentage, right? So of this $1.35 per share, you're going to have to pay taxes on 63.21%, and then 36.79% is exempt, and that gets us to about 100%. So the numbers line up here. So I'm actually going to take you over to a spreadsheet to kind of like visualize for how much I've made so far in income, just using my October numbers, and then just so you guys have an idea of what it actually looks like when you do your calculations. All right, so for this number, this $48,836, that's how much premium I made for nvdy specifically. So the way this works is you're not supposed to use one lump sum. Each fund is going to be taxed at a different rate. So for nvdy, this number was you're going to be taxed about 30 or 63% of your net income. But for tsly, I took a look, and the return on capital for tsly, because the NAV has just been getting slaughtered, is the return on capital is 90% for tsly. So you're only getting taxed on 10%. But the problem is the fund lost a lot of money and you're still getting taxed 10% on the money. So it's a lose-lose in my book. So I'll talk more about that later in maybe a different video, but not a big fan of funds that their NAV just continues to decline, and you could equate NAV to just share price decline, right? Same. But all right, let's look into the numbers, right? So $48,000 of premiums from an nvdy, as we mentioned earlier, from the tax document, that 19 alpha. 63.21% is net gain. So that's what we're going to be taxed on. And then 36.79% is return on capital. So if we do the math for this number, I'm going to have to pay taxes on $30,869.24. The tax exempt portion is about almost $18,000. I'll just round it up. And then, so personally for me, I'm a high income earner, so my tax bracket is going to be a little bit higher. But what happens here is we take this $30,000 and then you multiply that by your tax bracket, right? So for me, because my tax bracket is 35%, I'm going to have to pay $10,804.23 of taxes, right? So I've been kind of doing a arbitrary tracking in my spreadsheet where I had a number of like $16,000, almost $18,000. But once I break it down, maybe end of the year, I'll do a end of the year summary and do this over again with all the values correctly inputted, but just kind of like a quick video so you to understand and get an idea of how much you may anticipate for your tax time, right? Because it's right around the corner, already November, December is right around the corner, New Year's month and a half away. So definitely we need to start thinking about this and be tracking how much money we need to set aside for taxes. This is super important. You never want to do your taxes and then have to pay a massive bill that you're not ready for. I've done it before when I've made good money on options incomes and things like that. And it's never nice when you have to pay the government $15,000 that you weren't ready for because you have it in other investments and things of that nature. But yeah, and it just as a quick note before I wrap up this video is I chose the month of September as 19 alpha document. So the way this is actually going to work is for every single month of distribution, you have to look to see what the return on capital was. That 36% number is not a one size fits all. That was only for that month of September, right? And then maybe August may have been different. July may have been different, right? So kind of like what I mentioned earlier, when the end of the year comes, I'm going to look at every single one of those tax documents. I'm going to create the different numbers, create an average, and then just run with that number to create my estimated how much I'm going to have to pay in taxes. Just wanted to add that 2 cents in there. I definitely, when I was going through and talking about the different numbers, wasn't specific enough. So here it is. All right. And last thing before I wrap up this video, I want to do a shout out to my brother's channel, the Not Guru Investor. He's almost at 2,200 subscribers. And there's a reason why his channel has grown so fast. He's been doing it for quite some time. He's had the channel for 3 years. He definitely has good insights on investing, at least long term. He's running option calls and there's different strategies. His channel is definitely worth a view, and I hope you guys check it out. Link is going to be in the description. Yeah, guys, this was a quick video on how return of capital works. Just to kind of summarize what we learned here, you have to go out and find the tax document for the return on capital. Each yieldmax fund has a specific 19 alpha, so you need to go in, find it, and then calculate the return. What's return on capital, what was net, and then the difference you pay for the taxes. So that's kind of how it's calculated. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope to see you again. Have fun out there. Enjoy your journeys. I hope to see you again. Let me know in the comment sections if this was clear, if this needs work. What are your thoughts? And then eventually I do plan on making just a normal tax video because it's crazy that people are taxed by the government and they don't know how it works. So I'll definitely make a video about that sooner rather than later. But life's been busy. But yeah, have fun out there, guys. Talk to you later.